Okay, guys, everybody thinks they're an entrepreneur. Everybody and their brother thinks that they can take their item and sell it on eBay. So if you do, here's a little tutorial on getting started. So I'm gonna put this into different categories. First, we're gonna talk about getting started. We're gonna talk about eBay. We're gonna talk about their account, PayPal account. Then we're gonna talk about bank accounts. We're going to talk about buying items, about listing items. We're going to talk about shipping. We're going to talk about the fees associated with that. We're going to talk about the feedback system. We're going to talk about returns. We're going to talk about customer courtesy. That's important, guys. Customer relations. And we're talking about how you get paid. So let's start. The first thing you're going to need, if you've never done this before, this is going to be an eBay account. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. You just sign up through eBay. You're going to have a PayPal account. You're going to have a bank account. You're going to want to link all those accounts together if you're going to be selling on eBay. That's what eBay wants you to do. They want to be able to talk to PayPal about your money and PayPal to talk to your bank about the money, so that you can send the money from your bank to PayPal or from PayPal to your bank. eBay costs money. It's not free to sell stuff, guys. It's not free to transfer money to PayPal either. eBay charges you anywhere between 7 and 15%, or maybe more depending on what you're selling, but generally around the 10% range. I pay 9 on most of my stuff. I sell video games. PayPal charges you somewhere in the neighborhood of 2% or something like that to transfer your money. So if you transfer $1,000 on a transaction, PayPal's getting 2% of that. So just be aware of that. The bank account needs to be linked as well, like I've already said. So you got to be 18. You can't do this if you're a kid. This is something you're going to have to be a legal adult. You're going to have to be registered. You can't be a felon, a convict, have all these issues with bank accounts, stuff like that. I'm just saying, if you got money issues and you can't get a bank account, or you can't get an eBay account or a PayPal account, well, then you're shit out of luck. It's just how it goes. So let's talk about buying items first of all. When you're looking on eBay and you want to buy an item, you need to be looking to buy it. If you want to buy it right now, we're not talking about an auction. You want to buy this item, you want to buy it right now. So you're gonna make sure you click up there on the top of the page. You'll see something that says "Buy it now," and you want to click that button. That's gonna cancel out all the other listings that are auction style listings and stuff like that. You want the listings that have the ability, so that you say, I want it, I can buy it, click on it, pay for it, and it's going to ship out to me. So we're going to look for buy it now. Then over to the right of that, there's a little drop down menu. You're going to look for lowest shipping first. Okay, that's going to tell you that item, buy it now, the lowest you can get it on eBay. Now, depending on what you're looking for, you might have to scroll way down on that list to find one that's accommodating what your needs, because you might find 50 million people that have them for sale that are broken for parts as is, that are junk. Make sure you're getting one that is used and that it says in the description that it works, that it's in good working condition. Unless you want to buy junk and you want to take a gamble on junk. Buying on eBay, there's a little bit to it more than I'm just telling you right now. You need to really look at what you're buying. You need to read the description from the owners. You need to make sure this thing is working. You don't have to necessarily get a hold of them and ask them 50 million questions. Just read what you're looking at. Look at the pictures. It's very important. Take a look at what you're buying. Read what you're buying, because people sell stuff on there all the time, guys, that are broken, and they don't necessarily tell you it's broken until you scroll all the way down and see the little fine print at the bottom that says untested as is. And if it's untested, it's as is, and it's junk. You can guarantee that. So let's move on to listing your item. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you're asking the right price for it. You're going to do that by referring to what I was just telling you before when you want to buy the item. So you're going to, on a second page, you're going to open up, you're going to look for that item that you're wanting to sell. You're going to try to find it. You're going to find it for the lowest price you can find it for. And in my opinion, you're going to want to at least match or beat that price. Because if you don't, it's just going to sit. Who wants to buy something from somebody that's going to cost $25 if 3 other people have it for $19, $18, and $17? You're going to buy the one for the cheapest price. So if you want to sell your item and you want to sell it quick, you want to sell it for the cheapest price you can. That's the way to go. That's the way I started. That's what's built my business up. That's the way I'm becoming successful on eBay, and that's what's going to help you too. If you just hear those words and go by it, you know. So anyway, so when you list your item, you know, don't do auctions. I mean, you can do auctions if you believe in the auctions, you like the auctions, and you think the auctions are going to work out good for you. You know, that's great. I do buy it now listings, so I'm going to stick with running you through how to do the buy it now listings. You know, because if you do an auction and you start the auction bid at $1, well, you best be willing to sell it for $1, because that's what it may sell for. If you don't have big numbers next to your name, which means the amount of sales that you've had on eBay up where you see your eBay ID and it says your name there, you know, if your numbers are very small, people are very less likely to buy from you. If your numbers are very big, they are a lot more likely to buy from you. So if you have a 2 or a 0 next to your name, chances are if you put an auction up or even a buy it now, it's going to take you a little bit to get your first sale. Now, I had that experience when I was young into the business. My items sat for a while before they finally sold, but eventually I did sell stuff, and eventually I built up my numbers over and over and over to where now I don't have any problem selling stuff. But in the beginning I certainly did. I mean, don't just think that anybody out there is going to buy anything. It takes a certain guy that doesn't exactly look at what they're buying or look at what the seller's about, that just clicks it and says, ooh, I want it, and I buy it. It's impulse buying, guys. A lot of eBay online buying is impulse buys. And you want to make sure you're protecting yourself by listing your items properly. That's the biggest part of listing your items. You know, pictures. Make sure you're putting pictures up, and not just stock photos, guys. You need pictures, photographs of what you're actually going to send to the person. And don't hesitate to put that in the listing. This is what you are going to get. I am sending you the item you see. You know, that's very important. You want to take pictures of the front and the back, the sides, as much as you can. You're allowed up to 12 pictures. Use it. They're all free. Shipping, you know, most items I ship, they're relatively small. They're generally under 13 ounces. 13 is the magic number. If it's under 13 ounces, you can ship anything with the USPS, the post office, your local post office guys, for under, you know, $3-4 at the most, you know. Plus the cost of your envelopes. You want to use padded mailers. You want to protect your items. If nothing else, you want to bubble wrap your items if you can. You know, and you can get all these shipping supplies a whole lot cheaper on eBay, on Amazon, on other places, a whole lot cheaper than you can get it for in any store you go to. I guarantee you that. I've been doing this for a while, and I buy all my supplies online because it's a lot cheaper. And a lot being the prime word there. Make sure you're looking for a lot of bubble mailers or a lot of bubble wrap. You know, buy it in bulk, you save a ton of money. Anyway, moving on, I think it's important that you choose the correct shipping for your item. You want to make sure you're you know, shipping it the right way. And if it's a huge package, then you might look to UPS or FedEx, but most generally, you know, USPS is the way to go on that. You know, the next thing you got to understand is that you are going to pay fees. If you're going to have an eBay store, you are going to pay for that. It's going to cost you, you know, $15-20 a month to have just a very small store. If you want a bigger store, you could pay $50, you could pay $150. So it just depends on the store you want. This is all going to depend on how many items you're going to list. You're going to list 1 or 10 or 15 items, you might not even need a store. And if you're going to list 50 items, you're probably going to want a small store. You get some other perks and stuff that you'll figure out along the way that comes along with that. And you'll figure that out as you go along. But you know, if you have thousands of items and tens of thousands of items, then you're going to want to get the biggest store you can get. You're going to get incentives like you know, cheaper fees, you know, and stuff. And that's going to help you tremendously, you know. But you don't really have to worry about any of this until you get well into it to where you're selling a huge amount of stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about is the feedback system. Guys, the feedback system on eBay is all flawed up. So let me tell you this. Anybody can say just about anything they want on your feedback page, and unless they're cursing at you, they're not going to do anything about it. Meaning eBay's not going to help you one iota. If you sell something to somebody and you know darn well it's good and they get it and they tell you it's not, you're best to try to work it out with the customer. You're best to apologize and learn how to kiss butt. Because let me tell you, just typing something on a computer and sending it in a message, and then they're typing something back and sending it back to you in a message, sometimes people just get caught up in their own head, and it doesn't quite sound to them like you mean it to sound. So you got to be very careful with your words, with the way you say stuff in an email to somebody online. That's very, very important, guys. You'll learn that too as time goes on. But believe me, it's better if you work things out with people than to sit there and argue back and forth on, I know it worked, or I don't know it works. You know what the thing is? You just say, I apologize, and I'll accept your return. Then you won't get the bad feedback. You want to make sure your customers taken care of. Then you won't get the bad feedback. And number one, make sure you're sending out the correct items and you're bubble wrapping it and you're packing it good and they are happy. Most people, 95% of people, order the item online. They just want to get their item in a timely manner and they want it complete and correct when they get it, and that's it. And they're going to get positive feedback. Always leave feedback. If you're buying something from somebody, leave feedback. If they bought something from you, leave them feedback. And you can even do that automatically. You can set your account up to where it'll do it automatically. That's important too. Now let's talk about the returns policy. If you don't offer a returns policy, or you say as is, no returns, you might as well hold on to your stuff because you're not going to sell it. Who's going to buy something from somebody that says, oh, sorry, it's as is, no returns? I mean, really, unless you can check it out and look at it before you buy it, who's going to buy something like that? You're buying something from some guy in Idaho and you live in Delaware. You know, oh, well, here it is, but it's as is. Yeah, you know, I'd pass. I mean, you know, I'm sure you would too. That's the idea. You want somebody to have a return policy. If you're going to sell stuff online, you need a return policy, and you need to say, you know, 14 days. If you don't, you know, if you have a problem with it, if there's something wrong with it, send it back to me, and I'll take care of you on that. And the only bad thing is now, guys, eBay is making you pay the return shipping. No matter what it is, you're going to pay the return shipping. About guarantee you, 95% of the time, if they send it back, you're eating that cost. It's going to go on the end of the month on your eBay fees. They're going to tack that on, and whatever it costs to ship that item back. So if you're sending out expensive items, guys, make darn sure that it works and that you know what you're sending out to them. Because if they get it, it's bad, and it's costing you $100 to send it back, you're going to pay that $100. So that's the important thing about that. But you know, for the most part, it just makes sure your stuff is good when it goes out, and it's not going to come back. That's the biggest thing about it. You know, customer courtesy is the biggest thing when you're talking about sales online. You need to know how to talk to people. Me, I had to learn. I didn't know how to talk to people. I had no idea how to communicate over a series of emails about an item that I sent out, and I thought it was good and they think it's not good, and it turns into an argument very quick unless you learn how to talk to people on eBay. You know, it's very important that your buyer feels comfortable about buying from you and they feel comfortable with the item that you sent them. That's very, very important. It's good for both sides. That's what you have to have. So when it comes down to it, and you've got your item listed and you sent your item out and they've received the item and everybody's happy and you're happy that you got your money, now you want to know how you get it. Well, it goes right into your PayPal account. That's why you have to have that. Goes into your PayPal account. Now, if you're new, they're going to hold your money for a certain period of time. I think when I started, it was like 45 days they would hold my money. Maybe it was 21 days. I can't be sure. It's been a while ago, but they'll hold it for some time, and then they'll release it into your account. Now, if you are new, you're not going to have what I have is like a little card that comes with my PayPal account. I can take it to any ATM and swipe it. You're not going to get that until you're there for, I think it's like 90 days, like 3 months. Before you can sign up to get that card. But until then, that's why you need a bank account, guys. Transfer the funds to your bank account. As soon as they're released to you, transfer them to your bank account. 2 to 3 business days, you'll have your money in your bank. You can go to your bank and take the money out. It's as simple as that. Or they will actually send you a paper check if you'd rather them do that. They'll do that too. So, you know, it makes it pretty easy to get the money. The thing I love about selling online is that once I've built myself up to where I've got a good customer base, I can pretty much sell anything online, and it's easy to do. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you are going to pay fees, you're going to pay PayPal fees, you're going to pay Uncle Sam at the end of the year, because believe it or not, guys, they're pushing this. No matter what you sell online, it's going to be sent in a W-2 form. It's going to be sent to the IRS every year. So if you're selling stuff online, don't think you won't have to pay Uncle Sam later. If you go nuts and you sell $40,000 or $50,000 worth of merchandise and you don't put back about 10 grand, you're going to be wondering why the IRS is knocking on your door in a couple years. So, take it from me. Make sure you're doing your facts and figures. When you're out there picking stuff and you think you can pick it up for 20 bucks and sell it on eBay for 30, you better think about it a little bit. Because when you sell it for 30 and you got to pay your shipping and you got to pay your fees and you got to pay your Uncle Sam, well, I tell you what, you probably should have given about $8. So, and that's why I do what I do with my business, and I put a lot of stuff in the storefront instead of putting it online anymore, because I used to have 2,500 active listings, and the way they've changed everything around on eBay, the way they've changed around the fees itself, and the ability for anybody to just send anything back to anybody for any apparent reason at all, pretty much cuts me down to about 200 listings now, because I don't want those small items online. I don't want to have to sell something for $5 and pay $3 to ship it, and 10% to eBay, and 2% to PayPal, and 15% to Uncle Sam. What do you got? What do you got out of $5? Maybe $1.25. So what can you offer somebody for it? 25 cents? I mean, that's ridiculous. Can't even pick stuff up at a yard sale for 25 cents anymore. So, think a little bit about it before everybody out there thinks that they're the next world's best entrepreneur. Do your research a little bit. Get your head together, figure it out, do the numbers, do the math, because it's not all just dollars and cents. It's shipping, and a lot of costs go out in it. So, have fun. Hope you can take your items and sell them and make a bunch of money. Just, make sure you look at what you're looking at to buy. Make sure you're telling people the correct things when you're selling items, because if you do bad business, you won't sell very much stuff. So that's the best I got for you. If you guys have any questions or concerns, check me out. Check out my website. It's mattsvintagevideogames.com. Thank you for listening.